Welcome back to Beyond Uncharted. We're back with the
Welcome.
original crew, Scott and Dave. What's up?
How we
Hey,
doing?
doing
Good,
good.
good to see you guys, man. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
absolutely.
We're always talking and chatting and shooting messages and all kinds of craziness.
Yeah.
A lot going on in life, right?
Oh yeah, staying busy, especially for the summer.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
family is demanding. If you care about it, it's demanding.
Yeah, that's very
If
true.
you don't if you don't care, then hey, no big deal.
That's
I
right.
guess so. Yeah, I think you have to make it important.
hmm Yeah, I think
Also,
I think the only risk of not making it important is maybe kids that hate you when they're older.
hmm
yeah, yeah.
True. That's so true. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
That's
want that.
so um how's summer going so far?
Good.
Good here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're staying busy. We're doing some hiking and went up to Alex Bay over the weekend.
hmm
But yeah, we doing typical summer stuff.
Yeah, I see that. That's great. I see all the posts and
Yeah.
Scott's out there trekking 7 miles to see a waterfall and
Oh my goodness, that was brutal. That was
Where
enough to
was
split
that?
up the family.
Where was that,
That
Scott?
was Buttermilk Falls, I think it was called. That's out in Ithaca.
uh,
All right.
Yeah, yeah. That was a tough one.
yeah.
Yeah, we got
Is
to
that where
keep
you
it a
saw
little
the
easier.
footprint?
Oh no, that was yesterday. That was out in Otter Creek Preserve, I think it was called. That was in Ellis Bay.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh, it's Otter Creek, you said?
Otter Creek Preserve, but it's in Ellis Bay. It's not the Otter Creek that's up in Old Forge. Not up.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, different one. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Scott found his first Bigfoot print out there.
Yeah, it was
I
huge.
I
So
think. I
far.
mean, some people think it's a bear, but man, I've been looking up some black bear prints, and they're not as big as that. And it look
hmm
the black bear normally has like you could see the claws at the end of it. I didn't see any type of claw or anything at the end of it.
hmm
So I don't know. It was huge, whatever it was that walked through there.
Looked like Bigfoot to me.
Yeah. Like I said, I got a size 13 foot,
Yeah, I saw that.
and
It
it
also
was
looks deep.
huge. Yeah, yeah,
It was like
and
it looked like it was like an over an inch deep.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was. And then where because it was pretty rocky where we were walking, but it just happened to step in like that one spot that was really soft ground. Like if it was an inch to the right or inch to the left, it probably wouldn't have been a print. But it just happened to press right there because there were no other prints, of course, just that one print right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think actually my son found it. He kind of tripped over it, and I was like, "Well, that's kind of weird." And then I'm like looking at it, I was like, "Holy cow, are there toes at the end of that thing?" And then I get down and kind of take a closer picture. I was like, wow, what? Who would be walking around barefoot out here where we're a mile or so into the
Mm.
hiking into the woods? It's like I don't know what it was. It's something big's walking around out there. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. A little unnerving either way, Bigfoot or
Yeah,
bear, right?
yeah,
So
absolutely,
you're like,
absolutely.
wow, there's something else out here.
Right. You got to get a bigger pocket knife or something. Yeah.
That's yeah, right. Exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, yeah. So it was.
Anything else? You hear any strange noises or see any tree breaks or anything like
I
that?
didn't. I didn't really see. There was some stuff. It was hard to make this. Once you're on the trail is cleared, but like you can look off. I mean, obviously it's just woods on both sides. It looked like
Hmm.
we did see maybe like I don't know, like almost like the start of like a teepee because I asked my fiance about it. It looked like there was a bunch of branches that were broke off and they were all leaning like one way. I couldn't get in there to take a picture of it,
Hmm.
but it could have been something. It could have been nothing. But it didn't smell anything funny. I didn't see any like X's or anything like that, like you guys were telling me to kind of
Yeah,
look for.
yeah,
But it was just really like the print. Yeah,
yeah. I love it. I love it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
If it is, that's cool. That's the first Bigfoot thing I've ever found. So
yeah. It
So
was
you
pretty
would have the footprint in the growl, right, Scott?
Yeah.
the growl, I don't know what that growl was. Honestly, I have no idea what that growl was at my house that day. I have no
But
idea. That could have been
it wasn't a
huh?
normal animal, you don't think?
No, God no. God no.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I don't know. And it was around the time when my dad saw that thing um
Yeah.
run through the road. He didn't know what that was. Um, I mean, I mentioned Dogman to him. I threw that out there, but he's an old farmer type guy. He doesn't really believe in stuff like that, so he didn't want to say yes to that. But I don't know how else to explain it, and he didn't really know how to explain it.
Hmm.
But
He's the type of guy where if Dogman existed, the government would have told him.
Yeah.
exactly, Fox News would have told him. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So I don't know. Strange.
Yeah.
Super strange.
Super strange. Yeah, I didn't I haven't had a lot going on from a Bigfoot perspective lately, because it's summer, so we're trying
Yeah.
to get things situated and we
Yep.
got things going on every weekend and it's just been a lot. Last week we were on PTO, enjoying a little time out on Cape Cod, which was cool,
Yeah, I
the
saw that.
yearly family trip. So we
Yep.
love that, just kind of hanging out on the beach all day. All
No stress there.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
stress there.
Well, I mean, if it downpours for, a couple hours, it's a little stressful, but
John, I got to tell
Uh,
you, my wife said your friend. I call you John Bigfoot. She goes,
yeah.
John Bigfoot really travels a lot. I'm like, yeah, he's got the life.
Yeah. Most of it's for work. That's the problem.
right. Right. Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
said you didn't have much going on with Bigfoot, but those little gifts that showed up to your area, they were that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion,
Um, so you talking about the little babies?
yeah. I didn't want to say them in case you didn't want to talk about them on air.
I got them in my hands right now.
All right,
Oh
all
my
right.
gosh.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, I guess I have. I don't like sharing, man. No, just
Who hurt you, John? Who hurt you?
so I travel a lot for work, and every time I'm someplace or I'm going someplace, I'll do some research and say, fine, what is there anything Bigfoot out there, And it's
Yeah.
hard to
Yep.
find, right? So if you just start Googling stuff, it's not really
Yeah.
cohesive to be able to find something. But there's a Bigfoot research, Boston Bigfoot research thing out there in Boston, which is pretty cool. But it's really just it's the theme of a child development center. So
Oh.
they just themed it that way. So there's really
Okay.
nothing to do with Bigfoot except for if you knock on the door, they'll let you in, and then you can see all the cool Bigfoot themed stuff they have
Okay.
in the foyer there.
Yep.
But that's it. And then Bigfoot Coffee right there in Vermont finally made it there when they were open. So that was cool. And I don't know, there was something else. The Trolls up in Maine, went and checked
Oh
those
yeah.
guys out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's super cool. Saw the ones in Rhode Island a couple months ago, but the ones up in Maine a little bit harder to get to. But I finally had a trip out there for work, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna get out there, make sure I check out those trolls, see if they're actually Bigfoot. You'd think the
Huh.
cool thing about the ones out there, um, it's in a botanical garden, but then the trolls are like in the woods. So you have to go down paths in the woods,
Oh, okay.
deep into the woods to go find the trolls. It's like a treasure hunt thing, which is super cool. But it's a little eerie out there because I'm walking around the woods like, okay, kind of by myself, looking around,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
looking for trolls, like, oh, all
Yeah.
right.
That's a
I'm
little
out here
strange.
doing a Bigfoot investigation, I guess. I got,
Right.
you know, but pretty neat. But yeah, yeah, Dave. So a couple of things have come up. So I did the Paul Smith's investigation where I snapped off a piece of the X and brought it home. It was, I didn't even think about it. I just said, I'm taking a memento home with me,
Yeah.
and then everybody's like, "What did you do? Why would you do that? You got to bring it back." I'm like, "That's like a 4 hour drive. I don't know if I'll make it back out there."
Yeah.
Um, and then so I put it out in my driveway and kind of regifted the Weeble Wobble, right? And which was pretty cool because it did move a couple times. I don't know. If it moved from, the wind or a squirrel, who knows, right? It could be anything. But the one day, the interesting thing was, I went out to go to work. I said, let me check it, right? And weeble wobbles, they don't fall down, right? And it was
Right.
sitting on its side. And I was like, how is that possible? That's not supposed to be possible, right? So water must have gotten in it or something. So I went over and checked, and it was on like there's like a stump
Yep.
it's been cut a long time ago, so it's kind of like not super hard. It's kind of like soft material a little bit. And then there is like a bear statue that's rotting away on top, sitting on top of that. That's where I put all this stuff.
Okay.
Um, and so I went to go check it, and I looked at it, and I was like, "Is that sunken in?" So it looked like something had pushed it down. And it had an indentation into the wood, into the stump,
Oh, wow.
and it was stuck sideways like that. And I was like, well, that's pretty
What?
interesting because that couldn't have happened on its own, and a squirrel couldn't have done
Right.
that. So that was the one thing about that whole situation that really had me freaked out. Other than the mysterious knocks on the house. But once I stood in the middle of the driveway, I put the Weeble Wobble there, and I said, "Hey, I appreciate you, hanging out with me. I apologize for taking this. Please, leave me and my family alone." And I didn't get anything after that except for these things with the Weeble Wobble, which was interesting.
Did it do anything with the stick?
No, still sitting there too. I haven't touched
Still
it.
sitting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep, I left it there, and it's still there.
My
Wow.
wife and I, we take these drives on the weekend, and we were talking about Sasquatch, and she goes, I wonder where they live, and I told her, I said, I've probably accumulated enough information where if I really wanted to, I could probably go make contact with a few days. Like I know approximately where to go, what to look for, what to say, what to think, and we got talking about, and I told her, but I don't know if they'd follow me home. And she goes, what if they did? And I said, well, I'd probably ask them to stop because they seem to have a really real appreciation for honor. Like they keep their word. And when you said you asked them to stop and they did, that didn't surprise me because in some aspects, they have more honor than humans do.
Hmm.
Right.
They're like, it's really important if you go on to call them a clan or a tribe, like they really keep themselves, it seems that they keep themselves accountable. And like, I've heard of like Native Americans like making these lines like we won't cross this line if you don't, and like
Hmm.
they will keep their word for generations.
Right.
Why do you think that is, Dave? Do you think that's just part of their culture?
I would think it's my opinion that they have some human in them, and I think it's maybe more of an ancient human where back then you had to keep your word.
Yeah, that's
We
all
live
you
in a
had.
yeah, we live in a really watered down society where people don't hold you to your word. You can't do
Hmm.
anything on a handshake anymore. Also, I would think amongst themselves, it could mean life or death. Like they're trying to hide. They have to mate, live, find food. They probably have some sort of wars or physical contact with the other tribes or maybe other species like dogman, who knows. So they probably like really take every thought and action very seriously. Like if
Hmm.
we do this, this can happen, or this can happen. So they just, who knows, but that's kind of what I'm thinking, is that they almost have to operate on a high honor system.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
I
would
think, I
definitely hope
mean,
so. Yeah.
we've all heard enough about Sasquatch that I think there's enough evidence that would kind of back that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that second
Yeah.
knock, I wasn't home. I was out traveling for work, and my wife was freaked out. She was freaked out pretty bad. So she was totally on board, like, you need to fix this. You did something. You need to fix it. So she's like peeking out the windows now and stuff.
Oh man.
She's a little weirded out, but she's okay. She's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that could be creepy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for her. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Our mutual friend Dave told me the other day that he had something knocking on his wall again,
He did. He told me
where
that.
he sleeps.
Oh
Yeah,
wow. I
Yeah,
didn't
where
know
he
that.
sleeps. Right.
No kidding.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. Like he mentioned that in the knocking that we had on our house, and it was more like a thud. like one, two, you know. And our in the back right hand corner of our house is where our bedroom is, and that's where it was. So that there's a similarity there, and we don't
Mm,
live close to each other, you know. So
right.
that's interesting.
Yeah, because you're kind of out in the sticks, aren't you, John?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
that's
listening to
freaky.
a podcast the other day. A lady and her husband moved to 4 different states because the Sasquatch were kind of harassing her.
Mm.
And she went from Tennessee to Indiana to Kentucky to somewhere else. And they followed her every time she moved. Within like
Wow.
3 days of buying a new home, they showed up. And
Mm.
every time she moved, she would try to pick something more like in the suburbs. And they still followed her, tapping
Wow.
on the windows. And um, she didn't want it to go on anymore. So the last I heard, her next goal was to try to go out and tell them, and she also started having Dogman show up, and that really scared her,
Mm.
um, and her husband. So I don't know what become of her, and until she comes on the podcast again, I won't know. But that's
Wow.
really serious to like move that many
Yeah.
times. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I always worry about. Like, what if they don't leave me alone, or what if they're not trying to be irritating, but just what we perceive as aggressive or irritating is just them being friendly,
True.
and
Right.
we don't operate that way. So how do you even deal with that?
Hmm.
Yeah. I wonder how they communicate like that so fast. Like, how would they know where she's
I think
going and
maybe
how it?
I think they mark you somehow. People say that you're marked. I don't know if that's true, but that's kind of the word people use. If you see one or interact with them, they mark you, and if one marks you, they kind of all know who you are, what type of person you are, if you're good or bad.
True.
I don't know if there's truth to that. It would be based on what, and I know John calls me the expert, but what little information I know, I would say that Dave and John are probably marked for life. Um, but they obviously, you know, are having honor with John. But it would be my opinion that they would probably watch him and his wife for the rest of his life. Um,
Hmm.
that's just my opinion.
Mm.
I have
What do
no
you think
proof.
what do you think they watch him for though, Dave? Like they just like, or is it like they're watching them in like a good sense, or are they watching them? I mean, because if they trust John, what do you think
I
they're just like looking over him? Do you think
Yeah,
they're
I think in my opinion, I think when they make contact with a human and you've shown interest in, even if you don't see one, if you just show interest that I've taken something of yours and when you gift, that seems to be really high up on their level of operation. Like if you accept a gift and they take one, it's almost like that puts you like, okay, this guy is really serious about interacting with us. And I think they just kind of take ownership of you and just kind of keep tabs on you for the rest of your life.
hmm,
And that's only from hearing hundreds and hundreds of stories.
right?
Again, I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. I don't think John is in danger, but I would bet my right leg that every day when he leaves, probably he's being watched. And I don't
Mm.
mean to scare you, John. That's just my opinion. But I also
Huh,
believe you're safe too. And again, for the
right.
audience listening, they're probably like, "Who the hell is this guy? He doesn't know." It's just my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. There may be some truth to that. I could look at that in many different ways. I would definitely be more of a friendly, right? Like, I feel like I have a good heart. I'm not trying to cause no trouble, you know. I'm out there
Right,
trotting
right,
around the woods in areas where there's been sightings and stuff, you know.
right,
And I'm not doing any harm except for I took one little piece of an X, but
right,
you
right.
know, um, so I would think that, but I could tell you this, that every time I leave so there, I got a pretty long driveway, and it's all wooded, and then down the road to get to the main road is all wooded as well. I see deer every day, turkeys every day, right? There's a bald eagle flies around by our house. So it's definitely out there. But I can't resist just staring into the woods the entire drive down to the main road. So it's like I'm watching as much as they're watching, right? It's definitely an interesting feeling that I'm always staring into the woods as I'm driving, looking to see if maybe there's something there, you know?
Right. Maybe they'll drop their guard and you'll be able to
Yeah.
catch a glimpse of one or something. Or
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's just a feeling like I'm drawn to it, you know?
yeah. Well,
I don't know. It's interesting.
I have a personal opinion that people that see like are really drawn to like go out and not just like me. I've decided that I believe they're real and that's where it ends with me. Some people they have like this pull, like they can't stop looking for them. And I've often wondered if it's when you're born, if there's something in your DNA that
Hmm,
you're meant to encounter these, and maybe you're meant to encounter them on a deeper level than maybe your neighbor is or something. That's just my theory.
sure. Yeah. Could be. Could be.
mhm.
Looking
Are you
forward.
done
Cool.
interacting with them, John? Are you going to make any more contact, John, or are you done?
I don't know. I'm gonna keep going. I'm not stopping. Yeah. Yep. I got plans. Still working we got the camping and all that coming up.
Yep.
We have to cancel one to because of a family thing we had to take care of. But next weekend I'll be up in Newcomb, the heart of the Adirondacks,
Wow.
right by the
Wow.
highest peak there. So we'll be out there for the weekend. Wife's coming with me, and we'll be. It's a Bigfoot trip, so we'll have some fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
we'll be in the woods.
Perfect. And
Yeah,
you're going to Whitehall coming
yeah,
up too, right,
yep,
John?
yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right, good. Because I'm down. If Dave, if you're down to go,
Yeah,
excellent. I think it was what the 20 September 27th. Does that sound
I,
right?
I think so.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday,
All right.
last
That
Saturday
yeah.
of September every year.
Perfect.
Yeah. I got two booths. So last year I did a 10 by 10 section, and then this year I was like they're like, how many do you want? I said two. I don't know why. I have nothing for that space, but
Right on.
I'm trying, I was thinking about putting together like an interview booth, like a chair, set up the microphone,
Oh,
camera, all that, and have the one mannequin set up with the costume on it, and see if I can get people to come sit down and share their
yeah.
experiences. Yeah,
Sounds like a
that's
great job for Dave.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, if we can stay there part of the day, I'll if, while I'm there, I'll be willing to help you out, John. Whatever you need, man.
yeah, yeah. We'll be there hanging out, eating Bigfoot pizza.
Hell yeah. Now you're talking.
Uh-huh. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
We did my daughter's 13th birthday across the road here, right up by our house is Moose Hill Lock. Pretty cool place. Huge pool, which is so cool. But they do
Yep.
they do a really good job over there. So we booked the weekend. We took the pop-up camper across the street, so
Yeah.
we could use them. And then they let us have
Nice.
the birthday party there, which is cool. And then come to find out, the owner was there and he recognized me and said, and talking to my wife while I was, doing stuff for the party. And she's like, is that John Bigfoot?
No kidding.
Yeah. And he told her that he's going to contact me because they do a Bigfoot weekend every June. So definitely wants to get together and do something next June when they do their Bigfoot weekend. I was like, "Pff, that's awesome."
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
a little hookup there.
Yeah. Pretty close to home.
Yeah, yeah, super cool.
Oh, yeah. That sounds fun.
Oh, Dave, I think he froze up, man.
Yeah. It could be the weather out here. Looks like it's going to storm.
Yeah, he's got a pretty serious look on his face there, though.
Maybe bolted inside.
Does it look like it's going to storm? It does look like it's going to storm here too.
Yeah.
Am I back yet?
You're back.
Yeah. There you are.
Sorry about that.
You're back.
Um, I was gonna say, John, you've come a long way since you first started your channel.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's been a year. So last April is when it first started. So it's been just over a year, just crossed the year line here. Yeah, a lot has happened. We've done a lot, accomplished a lot. I got to go, some of the commitments that I made for this year, I've already completed. Like I wanted to go to two festivals. I went to the one in Florida, and then I went to the Cobble Mountain Critter Festival out in Massachusetts, which was pretty awesome. A lot of Bigfoot stuff over there too. Um, so checking things off the list for the goals for this year. So it
Yeah.
seems to be working out pretty good so far.
How many guests have
I'm
you
really
had so far, John?
Guess what do you mean?
Like
on your show.
on your show?
Oh, on the podcast one,
Yep.
the podcast version. I think it's episode 11 is
Is
the
it?
last one. Yeah, I think so.
So almost
11.
once a month you're doing
Yeah, pretty
guests?
much.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
I have one now. I'm just trying to think about what I want to do. And it was a phone really good. You'd like it, Dave. Just spoke to this witness who lives just outside the Adirondack Park, up by where you were hiking, Scott, and found that print. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, she's from right out there, and had an experience, long-term experience with a family of Bigfoot.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah. So we
That's
had
very
Interesting.
valuable.
Yeah. She didn't want to, be on camera and all that stuff. So we just did a phone call. She let me record the phone call. But we
Yep.
had a good over an hour conversation of her sharing, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for like background footage,
Right, right.
I want to put I think I'm gonna go just walk around the woods for an hour and see what I can find, just so that
Yeah.
there's something to look at,
Did,
you know.
did she let you use her real name, or did she want to be completely?
I don't think she
Yeah.
did. No, I think we did
Yeah.
we did something else. Yeah, she kind of didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
and she had to move like because it was like too much, and then
No
she
kidding.
still experienced them there too. So when you were saying that earlier, I was like, oh,
Wow.
and more to
And
come. I'm not sharing much more because it's going to be
Right,
a
right.
pretty cool episode. Yeah,
But
and the
well, how
only reason
sad
I
is that?
said that
Oh,
is because I'm sorry, Scott. The only reason I said that is because that's what I'm hearing all the time.
yeah,
I'm hearing more and more people like repeat the same stuff. John, one quick question. I'll
sure.
let Scott go. Did you get the impression that she felt like she was trying to protect herself, or did she was trying to protect them by not giving her name and who she is? Because sometimes people feel a sense of obligation to protect them.
I
mm,
think I think it was more them, but a mixture of both. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
yeah. I was just gonna say, I think it's kind of sad that she kind of has to hide everything. If I feel like if, especially in the Adirondacks, I feel like
yeah,
everyone's kind of maybe old fashioned. Where if she came out and said, "Hey,
yeah.
I'm moving because a family of Bigfoot is harassing me," I feel like she's going to be the talk of the town, and that's probably it's sad it has to come to that, but I
Yeah.
understand it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's weird in the Adirondacks because they are very they hold back on that conversation. It's not a lot of folks want
yeah,
to talk about it. It's not as
right,
mainstream because you're in the Adirondacks. The Adirondack, your cell phone don't work there, so
right, right.
you're not in the mainstream, right? Um, and that's why, I've been trying to think of different ways to get involved in the communities and do different things, think about like the Adirondack Park license plate that I'm working on, trying to get the state to do. I'm a part of a lot of groups with the Adirondack hikers and trail keepers and high peaks, low peaks, all that stuff, right? And I share very limited things in there because some of them are like, oh, this is cool. And some are like, this does not belong here. This should be blocked forever. They don't
Right,
block,
right.
they don't block me though. They don't block me.
Yeah.
But I'm sparking conversations with them. And then the other piece I found was, I don't know if you noticed like the camp store, the corner store, these little stores that I'm finding with Bigfoot merch in them and stuff, doing little videos and kind of highlighting them. I'm getting a lot of recognition from the communities for that. So that's pretty
Mm,
cool. So and it's opening people up to conversation, which is pretty neat.
yeah. I was
For
gonna say
for
maybe in those like Expedition Bigfoot and stuff like that. Don't they hold like town meetings and stuff?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if that was anything that you would maybe do or people would come out and talk to
I
you,
wouldn't
but
be against it. I've done a lot of that with my job, so I'm
right,
I'm
right.
okay with showing up at a town meeting, standing up and speaking and all that stuff. So interesting. Here's an interesting piece about that. I don't think it was Expedition Bigfoot. It was Small Town Monsters or whoever that came out like to the Wells area and did a episode. I don't
Yep.
remember who it was. Bud was sharing with me the whole piece behind it. And he said that they went to the town meeting, but it ended up being a closed meeting, and then it ended up looking like people that were in that meeting didn't even live there. So it was like,
Oh, really?
you don't
Yeah,
TV for you.
if you're gonna do it,
yeah.
don't do that, you know.
Right, right, right.
Uh, so who knows?
Yeah.
You know, John, for a quiet guy, you really network well. You'd make a good like small local politician, I think,
You know,
like a
I thought
mayor or
about
something.
that.
You're really good. You're likable. You
Do it.
connect. Like for someone that keeps all these secrets,
Yeah.
um, you're very likable.
Well, I don't want to come back and bite me later, when I do become a politician.
Right, yeah.
I'll be running, there'll be videos. Look at this guy, chasing Bigfoot in the woods.
Yeah, oh man. They tear you apart.
Yeah. If I could
That's
afford to do
funny.
something like that, I would. Problem is, they're not really good, well-paying jobs.
Yeah,
Scott,
yeah, that's true.
remember when John said in Messenger, I am kind of crazy. And he says, here, watch this. And he was sending us a video and we are kind of waiting like, oh my gosh, what are we going to
Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
That was great, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It
Totally
definitely
ad
was.
lib. That was on the spot. My wife was like, "Let's go out for a hike." I was like, "All right, I'm bringing a few cameras with me."
Oh my God.
She was heated. Oh
Yeah,
boy, we have a good
that's
laugh
fun.
about it though. It's fun.
Yeah, that was funny. Oh man. Dave, didn't you
Uh,
say you had something to share?
Yeah, I did, but now that we're on the camera, I'm like because I'm kind of imagining this like with people watching on YouTube, and I'm like, will this even be
Uh,
impressive? But I'll share it.
oh,
Um,
yeah. The hell.
so I've only ever had a couple like paranormal things happen where I live. And I try to like keep my place protected because of that. One was a doppelganger. Have you heard that word before?
mhm.
Yeah,
Um,
Like a twin.
my wife was talking to a
yeah.
friend of hers who lives in another state, and she was experiencing some paranormal activity in her home. And I remember when they were talking, my wife was telling me, and I remember my thought was, well, I hope that doesn't like come through the phone line and like come to our house. And the very next day, we were harvesting firewood as a family, and my wife and I were outside, and my son went inside to get dressed because it was kind of cold. And my son is a very like serious kid. He doesn't joke around a lot. He doesn't see like very total opposite of me. And he came outside and he had this look. I was walking towards the house to get some water, and he was looking at me like he had this puzzled look. He goes, how'd you do that, Dad? And I said, how did I do what? He goes, how'd you get out here and change so quick? I said, I've been out here for like an hour. He goes, no, I just walked by. You were sitting. When I'm inside, I would have a cup of coffee and I would sit on the edge of my bed because our bedroom door, we have a big wide door to our bedroom that's always open. And I'll sit there and drink coffee while I was on my iPad.
Mhm.
He goes, I just walked by. You were in your pajamas sitting on your bed on your iPad and you didn't look up at me. And I'm like, no, it wasn't me. And I knew it was serious because he almost had a look of like worry.
Oh,
And so we went through the house, and at the time I just prayed, and I've never heard of people having doppelganger sightings and really them being like sinister or evil or anything. But the only other thing that happened, and I kept it to myself because my son's almost 14 now, and anytime I bring up Bigfoot or Dogman, he's like, Dad, I don't believe in it. That stuff doesn't exist. They
Come
would
on,
tell me on YouTube if it does or whatever. And he just says, I don't want to talk about it. So like that's cool. Maybe when he's older he'll get into it. Um, but I would have this thing happen where I would lose clothing. Like not
Mhm.
just like losing the laundry, because there's four of us. There's my daughter, my son, my wife, and I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I do have a laundry. And I know exactly what we got. And if one of us is missing a shirt, I know exactly it's going to be maybe in my daughter's room or my wife's room because my son keeps all of his laundry to himself. And I would get new clothing, and like say I would go out and buy like five shirts. When I'd come home, one of them would disappear. It would
Mm.
just be gone, and I would tear the house apart. And like a month later, it would show up like over like an arm of a chair that I don't even sit at. And it's kind of like when we talked before, John, where some things happen, but they're so like subtle that you kind of just forget about them.
Right.
yeah.
So I was like, I knew something was up, but it wasn't like life threatening. So I'm like, no one's gonna believe me. It's not really exciting for like a YouTube video. The case of the missing sock
Right,
ghost or
right,
something.
right.
So the other day, my son comes to me, he goes, "Dad, I'm missing a shirt." And he buys like really high end Nike stuff at Dick's Sporting Goods. Like one shirt is $50.
Mm.
He
Yeah.
goes, I got a new shirt and I'm missing it. And I said, well, did you leave it here? He goes, no, I just went through. He goes, last night I put it in my drawer, and this morning I opened it and it's gone. So I went in his room. We went through his whole dresser. We went through all of his dirty laundry. We even lifted up his bed in case maybe something. We tore his whole room apart and it was gone. So I said, well, Noah, since this is happening, I'm going to tell you, this sometimes happens to Dad too. And he's like, no, but life isn't like that. Things don't just disappear. So the other night he wakes me up at like 1 a.m. He's like, Dad, wake up, wake up. He goes, I was up at night playing PS. He plays Call of Duty on his game,
Oh, yeah.
and he was sitting on his bed and he turned and there's his shirt folded sitting right next to him. It just showed
What?
up sitting right there, and you could see he was like, oh, maybe the world's more complicated than I've been told.
Yeah.
So it's not really
Wow.
exciting, but it's something. So he
Yeah.
asked me what I thought was happening, and I was careful. I didn't want to scare him. Like, do I
Right.
think you sometimes you hear stories about people encountering Sasquatch and they somehow get inside the home or cause things to happen? I don't think that's it, but um, he really wanted to know, like, what is a valuable reason why something. I've even heard of people like their car keys will go missing or their phone for like a day and then it'll show up. So I was like, well, I got to give him an answer, but I don't want to scare him. So I said, well, you don't believe in Bigfoot, but you believe in God? He's like, yeah. I said, well, would you, can we agree that God made the world and there's maybe a place where God and the angels are, and then there's a domain where humans are, and that would mean that there's different levels or maybe different chambers of space and time. He's like, yeah. I said, well, you've heard of angels coming in the Old Testament to visit humans? He's like, yeah. I said, well, if there's all these doorways and these different levels and domains, maybe sometimes something gets left open for a minute and something physical kind of just goes in there and then gets returned later. That was the only thing I could think of to like give him
Mm.
a solid answer. But who knows, right? And that's when I
Wow.
asked you guys on Messenger, have you ever had this happen? Because I've talked to
Yeah.
a couple people that their charge cord for their iPhone would go missing. And then a month later, they went through like 10 iPhone charge cords. And they're expensive if you get the real ones. And like a month later, they went down in their basement and all of the charge cords that were ever taken were in this cardboard box, like
Mm.
where they had like
Wow.
some
Wow.
other like some antiques and all of them. And I just thought, that something smart has to be behind it. But like, even if it is, why would you take a shirt or take something subtle? And
Right.
maybe do you want to mess with a human and maybe you're limited? Maybe God or whoever says you can mess with this human, but nothing too bad. Or there's just, I mean, our minds can go a million different places. So it's like enough to like think about and maybe worry
Yeah.
about, but at the same time, it's like life is busy. I got bills to pay. It's just a shirt, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
so
Yeah.
hopefully, John, I just didn't bore the hell out of your audience when this is on YouTube.
Oh no. No worries. I'm not concerned. Um, when you asked that question, I was hesitant to answer because I said, I'm getting old, man, and I'm forgetting stuff all the time now. So I don't want to,
Yeah.
I'm losing something every day. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I could see where you're going with that. So yeah, and that happens probably I'd say every once in a while, something's gone, and then you
Yeah.
find it somewhere it should never have been. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, it's
Did it ever
interesting.
happen to you, Scott, or no?
No, no,
No.
nope. I'm very responsible.
Like I'm not as old as you guys.
I just turned 41.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
good. You're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just turned 50 a few months ago.
Did you?
Did you really? Whew.
Yeah. How old are you, John?
48, be 49 this year. So
Nice.
yeah, you got about a year and a half on me. Not
Yeah.
too far, Dave. Not too far.
Scott, you were
Oh.
telling us that a client at work opened up the conversation maybe about aliens, and then they kind of like totally just gave you hell. like picked on you and said you were full of it or something? It
Yeah,
was a,
one of my, huh?
it was a while back.
Yeah, one of my, I forgot I kind of forgot how that went.
Oh, you said you were at work and a
Yeah.
client or someone saw aliens on your Facebook page or saw that you were into aliens.
Oh yeah, and they kind of,
And
yeah,
you
and I kind
shared
of,
with them,
yes, that's
you
right.
shared with them, I think what happened when you were a child.
Yeah, I told him just a quick little blurb of what happened, and he completely shut it down. Didn't want to know anything more. Completely, that's not what happened. Yeah,
Mm.
and I kind of got that vibe from him right off the bat that that was what I was going to receive. So that's
Hmm.
why I didn't really give him like the full story. Like I said, I just kind of broke it down, and I knew I was going to get a negative response. And he's like, "No, I don't think that's what you saw." And I was like, "Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I've heard this before." So it's almost like why waste your breath?
Yeah.
But I mean, I told him he can
Yeah,
take whatever he wants, but
the longer you're in the position like we are, where you go from like maybe having an encounter like you did, Scott, or maybe like me and John, where we choose to start believing something exists even though we haven't seen it. You end up getting to a spot where you just wake up and you just have faith that these things exist and you think
Mhm.
about them,
right,
and then you kind of let your guard down and you just assume everybody else believes or that they're
True.
open to hear, and then
right,
you talk to the wrong person one day and they're like, you just blew their whole world apart and they think you're
right.
nuts.
But it kind of makes you wonder, like, how many people out there actually have a story, but they're so sick of people being negative when they tell that story to them,
True.
where
Yeah,
they just don't tell it anymore. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. That's the reason why folks don't share as much as they should. I
Exactly.
think. Yeah. Um, it's just it's unfortunate. So I felt bad when I heard that, Scott. So
Yeah,
I'm sorry
yeah.
for him.
No, that's all right.
I'm
Is
sorry
what
for
it
that
is.
bad person.
Not
Um,
the first time. Probably won't be the last time.
you know, I
Yeah.
get a lot of that in the comments on the video, especially on YouTube. People are on YouTube are tough, man.
Oh, they're
Um,
brutal.
they
That's
are
a tough
brutal.
crowd.
And I'm like, why'd you watch the video? But I'm like, I just
Right.
mess with them. I just start
Right.
messing with them because I'm like, they watched it. They're
Yeah.
engaged. We're
Yep.
commenting. This is good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like every one of their comments.
Yeah. Yeah. Even
So
if it's a negative comment, it's
that's
still a
right.
comment, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Push their buttons just a little bit so that they respond back again with some more
Right.
negativity. Okay, let's go.
Yep.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Uh,
where
Yeah.
do you get the most engagement and views, John? On YouTube, on Facebook, or on the shorts?
I think the videos on YouTube do pretty well. Some of them have 30, 40,000 views.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, which is good.
Nice.
And and I've been really kind of thinking about that and trying to put together like I think last time we talked, or maybe I said it on the live that I did. I want to do more like in-person conversation,
yeah,
because those are the ones that do the best, right? Because people really want to see and hear from the person that had the encounter, not just hear them, and not know where it happened, So kind of putting those pieces together really, really elevates people's interest more, which I think is pretty cool.
yeah. How
John,
many
I wonder if
subscribers?
there's, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I
Go
was just
ahead,
gonna
Jeff.
say, I was gonna ask you how many subscribers you have now, and has YouTube emailed you? Like, I know that once you reach like 50,000, you can start getting a little money. It's not a lot, but it's a little something, I think.
Yeah, we got just under 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. And once I got to 1,000, I was able to monetize. So
Wow,
I did monetize, and the channel is putting about $4.50 a month in my bank account.
wow,
Whoa. Early retirement.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I, John,
Uh,
John, I was gonna say, I wonder if there's a way that you could maybe do like some kind of poll or something on Facebook, like
mhm.
maybe break it down into county or something like that. I mean, I know you're Adirondack Bigfoot, but if you break it down into a county and just have people put, if you've seen something or want to talk or whatever, and just tally it up and just say maybe you'll get more, say stories out of Madison County, and maybe you'll just drive to Madison County and talk to
True.
some of
Yeah,
those people or something. I mean, just I'm just spitballing here,
I
but
like it. Yeah, no, I like
just
that.
something like that.
That's good. I haven't been engaging with all the tools that you have. Like I'm really good friends with a couple of people that are pretty big on YouTube, and they're always like, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that," and I watch what they do, and they're on it, man.
Yeah.
Um, it's just hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just
There's not
it's
enough
just
hours in the day.
yeah, you got to have the time to really invest into it, to really do that. So I'm trying, like right now, my iPad, I have a lot of editing to do, and I've been putting that off because I was on PTO and all this stuff, and so
Yep.
it's just hard. It's just hard to balance it all, you know.
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I got a little
God bless you.
sidetracked here recently, but I'm back on track. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, as you guys know, I've thought about doing that before to make some extra money and kind of scratch my
Mhm.
storytelling cryptid itch, but it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I had a channel years ago, Tales, Terra, and Tora, and I did 2 videos, and even that was just it was a lot of work. And maybe in the future, as my daughter gets a little more independent, I'll have more time to do that. But I have it on the back burner. I still would like to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave, when I think of you, you're such a great storyteller. I love listening to you. So, I mean, and I did check out your old channel and watch your videos. So I know you put a lot of work into the editing and stuff. I was very impressed. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to do that. That's too much work.
I'm thinking about doing a channel where I tell the stories that have been told to me, but I'm going to do an audio book type thing where I will narrate their voices. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
feel like you're listening to two different people, and it kind of comes natural. And then I thought, well, it would be nice to make some money, but if I just do it for a hobby, even if I put out one video a month, who cares? It's something.
Yeah.
Right.
So I still may do it. I've just got a lot of things going on, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, So the shorts get you a lot of engagement. They're views, but they're a minute. It's only a minute worth of video, so you make like nothing off
Yeah.
of shorts. You know, you got to make full on YouTube videos if you want to try to really monetize and do something. But from your perspective, I mean, just record audio, right?
Yeah,
Just sit down for a half hour and just tell your story and whatever it is that you want to talk about it. And then just put a picture in the background and throw it onto a video and turn it into a
Yeah.
video and put it on
Yeah.
and I
YouTube.
Don't
even
even
have the
edit.
option. Yeah, just throw it up there. I
Yeah,
even have the
Yeah.
option of doing maybe like something. My wife said you could do an if you took enough stories, you could do an audio book,
sure.
on Audible. Do you do Instagram and TikTok, or do you stay away from those, John?
I've gotten into TikTok. Yeah.
How is that? Is that another whole beast
It
to
really
figure out?
is. It's more work, you know. Yeah, so I've been trying to keep it up with getting one video out per day, kind of like the reels and all that. Like if I upload a short, I put the same short as a reel, the same short as a TikTok. So it just goes across three platforms, but I have to download them all separately, you know, to
Right.
each
Right.
platform. TikTok seems to be picking up though.
Yeah.
Getting quite a bit of followers. I can't figure out how to find out how many followers I got.
I I couldn't tell you.
I don't know how to work with that. I gotta get my daughter
Yeah.
to help me out or
Yeah.
something. She's like a TikTok fashionista, and she's doing really well on there too with her little dance videos and stuff. So
Yeah.
I
But
thought
that's the
TikTok
nature
was
of
a
the
joke.
beast.
Yeah, I thought TikTok was a joke, but then when my son, he's on it, and I'm like, wow, there's a whole generation of people
yeah,
that are going to
Right.
TikTok. That's like a
right,
missed opportunity.
exactly. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. So the only link I have on my TikTok. So if you clicked on my channel and then clicked on the link, it's going to take you right to the YouTube channel. So I
Oh.
set it up like that on purpose. So if somebody's watching my TikToks, go check out the YouTube. You know,
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
yeah,
That's the way to do it. Yeah. You got to keep up on all that stuff, though.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I try. I try. That's why
Yeah.
I see a lot in the early morning, and then I won't do anything again till like after 5 o'clock. Because I look at the analytics and stuff, and all the viewers that watch anything that I put out, it's 5 o'clock on Monday through
Sure.
Friday, and then it's like 11 a.m. on a Saturday.
Mm.
So it's interesting to see when people are actually on. And if I put a video or a post or something out at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I maybe get three engagements. I put it out at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, I get 27 engagements, you know? So
No.
it's interesting
Wow.
to see um how all that works, you know?
Yeah. Right. Oh, interesting. So you got it
Yeah.
down to a science.
Yeah, they give you analytics. They send you emails and stuff and say, "Hey, this is how you're doing. This is
Oh,
what you should do. This is some feedback." They want you to be successful, you know?
right. Yeah, they
Well,
do.
Scott, the Ryan and Scott cast must be doing really well by now. I mean, that you've been at that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, almost 2 years, maybe two
Do you
years
put
in
that on?
January.
Do you put that on YouTube too, or no?
Some of them we do are little short videos we do.
I thought so.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, but we haven't. We've talked about just we did buy a camcorder and we were just gonna set the camcorder in the room and just record both of us. But it
Mhm.
would be more editing. I don't really do any of
Yeah.
the editing. Ryan does all the editing. So he would have to edit, the show plus the camera editing. So I don't know. We talked about it. It'd be good to maybe get into that a little more. Because I noticed like a lot of people, they want to watch something too. They don't just want to hear, they want
Yeah.
to watch. Like, so maybe, and I'm, a big Joe Rogan fan. So
Mhm.
like
Yep.
anything like on that comes across on Facebook where you can, scroll or whatever and see the videos, like I like to hear him, but I like to watch it as well and
Yeah.
see who he's communicating with. So I like that, that
Have you seen the Sean
yeah.
Ryan show?
Yes, yes.
Now
He's like
that
the
if you
ex-CIA guy.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking,
Yeah.
John, if you had I was thinking how cool it'd be to rent a cabin somewhere and have it set up where there's a fire and do a podcast where you have the video on them on the people like you do, Sean Ryan, and just call it the cabin. And like at the beginning of each episode, the guest could pull up the driveway in a truck and you could say, "Hey, welcome to the cabin. Let's go inside." It would be a lot of work, but that would be awesome.
The cabin.
Welcome to the cabin. The
I
problem
don't
with
hate
what
that.
John does though is not many people want to be on video, especially if it gets to
Right.
be a real, personal story. So
Right.
Yeah. 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 Depending on what your story is, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of people pushing back on that stuff,
Yeah.
which is interesting. And I like the point that you said that maybe it's because who are they protecting, themselves or
yeah,
Bigfoot? Um, Interesting take on that. Dave,
Yeah.
can you share a little bit about Dogman real quick?
yeah. So
Got the
Dogman,
spot.
I always assume if people know about Dogman, they know, or about Bigfoot, they know about Dogman. It's a cryptid just like Sasquatch, but it's just got a canine. So if you, oh, there goes the ambulance. Um, Sorry about that.
Can't even
If
hear
you
it.
were gonna say Sasquatch was a big ape that walks on 2 feet, you would call Dogman a big wolf that walks on 2 feet. But it's more complicated than that because they do have um, spiritual or paranormal qualities to them, but they tend to be more aggressive than Sasquatch. And just the sight of them really causes people to have a lot of fear and PTSD. They also enjoy getting a rise out of people. I heard a story the other day. A guy was driving down the road and at night, and he was on, I think it was in Tennessee, and he saw a car coming, the headlights. He hadn't seen a car in like several minutes. It was on a dirt road or a back road, and he was coming back from a birthday party or something. It was like 1 in the morning, and he sees this car coming at him, and he sees that the headlights are swerving in the road. He's like, "Oh man, a drunk driver!" And as they get close, he realized this car has this huge wolf on the hood of the
What?
car. And as he's passing it, this dog man looks over at him and jumps on his car right in
What?
the window. And so it was just out scaring the crap out of people. And
Hmm.
it finally he put on the brakes. It finally jumped off the hood and ran in the woods. And it's like here you have Sasquatch is trying to avoid people, and these things are like, "Come at me, bro. What do you got?" Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
they're like. And I got thinking about that. If Sasquatch and Dogmen are a hybrid, rather if God made them or like the Bible says the fallen angels made them, whoever designed their body. I was watching an interview about bodybuilders who said when they are using the highest percentage of steroids, they become super aggressive and super agitated
True.
and super anxious, and they just are just waiting for someone to cross them. They're just grumpy, they're miserable. And if you look at the anatomy of a Sasquatch, not only are they muscular, but their shoulders, everything is like extra big, almost like if they went to the gym and purposely was trying to grow that muscle.
Yeah.
And they're also, especially the males, they're also very aggressive. So I wonder if their testosterone in the body of Sasquatch and Dogman is like 100 times that of a human,
Mm.
because um, they always do seem to be grumpy or aggressive or just and just scary looking. And I was thinking about that the other day, like um, just the muscle size and the aggressiveness, like that. Only as men, we know that comes from testosterone, and depending on your age and how much you have going on, when you first hit puberty and you're like between like 16 and 20, you're probably the most aggressive you're ever going to be.
Mm.
And I got thinking, what would make these things so cranky? And I'm like, I bet their testosterone is really, really high. Just a theory, but yeah, and you haven't no one's gave you any Dogman stories, John?
Yeah, we heard some I heard a little bit about Dogman, but I've never really learned, like I have questions like is he intelligent? Like I would assume a
Oh
Bigfoot or a
yeah.
Sasquatch would be intelligent and have a good understanding of their surroundings and what how the world works, things like that. Dogman the same or is Dogman more beast?
Well, there's a popular YouTube podcast out there called Dogman Encounters. It started, I think, in 2013, and the host is Vic Cundiff. He's got a very unique voice. Some people think he's AI, but he is a real person. He sent me
Mm.
and my son
Oh,
Dogman hoodies
I've
when we were
I've
young.
listened to him. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
And one of his first episodes, he had on a guy who lived out in the country, I think down in like Texas, and he had a couple dogs, and his bedroom was at the top of the stairs. So if he came out of his bedroom and he looked down the stairs, the door coming into his dining room, his main living room, was right at the bottom. And he was in bed watching TV, and all of a sudden his dogs just started going bonkers. And he heard some noise, and he went to the top of the stairs and looked down, and he saw this arm reaching in through the doggy door, reaching up, trying to open the door. And then he sees that it's pushing its head through, and it's this giant. He said it was like a uh, German Shepherd's head, black, but like 4 times the size of a German Shepherd. Ended up being a dog man, was trying to get into his house. And for every Sasquatch story I hear where someone just maybe is in the woods and they encounter one, I'll hear 3 dogman stories, but they all like are coming to your property, looking in your window, trying to open your door, trying to get in your car. Like they're very, very aggressive. But yet nobody ever says this thing, tried to take my life. It's like they get really close and then they just kind of back off.
Mm.
And to me, I'm like, whether it's a hybrid or a demonic entity or an animal, where is the payoff for scaring humans? Like a grizzly bear,
Right.
it sees you and it's like food, or I'm protecting my young. There's no
Mm.
like
Right.
emotion, there's no um aggression, there's no like holding a grudge, there's no revenge.
Right.
But with these things, it's like they go out of like whatever they have going on, protecting their family or getting food. They're like, I'm gonna take 2 hours out of my time to go mess with this human until they're laying in their own feces. Like,
Mm.
and it's
Right.
like, where does that come
Well,
from?
there
Mm.
was that Dave. Wasn't there that case of that kid Brandon Close, I think his name was, out in Cato Meridian?
Yeah, I
That
tried looking him up.
Yeah, that it apparently like was on his truck or four-wheeler or something like that, and he shot it, like
Kate,
blew its leg off, or
yeah, Cato, Cato, New York.
yeah,
Yeah, and look
something
how
like
aggressive
that.
that was.
Right, and he said
That
the
was,
FBI like came to his house and took all his trail cam videos or something.
yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
Dave, that
It's
was
like,
that was kind of the same thing that my dad saw when he was driving to Morrisville. He was just going, 3 miles down the road, and he said it looked like a big black Great Dane, one of
Mm.
those huge dogs, and it
Mm.
was coming. It was coming from a farm, and this is only minutes from where me and Dave live. And he said it crossed the road, and he said it jumped up on the guardrail and sat there like perched, almost like you'd see like a gargoyle, sit
yeah,
there. And he had no idea what it was, and then he was like, "It's gotta had to be a black bear." So it's like we don't get a ton of black bears, and even if it was, like I don't remember them like sitting. I feel like it'd be hard for a black bear to sit on a guardrail and sit there and perch and he said it sat there for a minute, and but he said it looked buff. Because Dave, I remember you asking me that,
Hmm.
and he just said it looked
Yeah.
like a buff dog.
Mm.
That's
And
another reason
then,
I think they have testosterone is their agility is like they're bigger than a human, they're more aggressive than a human, but they have the agility of like an Olympic gymnast.
yeah,
Like they
yeah,
can
because
jump
he said it
really
jumped.
far.
Yeah, he said it jumped right off that guardrail and went down into the ravine. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dave, have you
Vic
ever heard
Cundiff,
anything of? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Vic Cundiff had a lady on one time. It was one of his early episodes in like the first 100 episodes from Rome, New York. And she was like 15 years old in the 70s. And her two siblings were walking home in like January. Like it was like below zero. They were walking not in the city of Rome, but like in like the suburb, like a very busy
Right.
area. And they were walking home, and she was walking by this home, and she heard this noise, and she looked over, and she said, "I thought I saw a really big human with a fur coat was going through the trash." And then it pulled its head out, and it was a dog man. It looked at her and then went back to eating. And they also report them having red glowing eyes. There was a case on there of an ex-veteran who went camping with some cop buddies. Some were firemen, some were army, and some were like cops. And they were going camping, and they went into like wherever they were going. They set up their camp, and they saw a fire over through the woods, and they knew it was another family camping. So they were going to go say hi, like hope. I think they were hoping to meet some girls or something. And as they're walking through the woods, the guy says he thought he saw two red bicycle reflectors following them while going up and down. And when they turned their mag lights on, it was a dog man, and the head movement was him bobbing as he was walking on his back
Oh,
two
wow.
legs. And that scared the living crap out of those guys. I mean,
Mm.
I bet.
a Sasquatch encounter can go peaceful, curious, or aggressive.
Mm.
And but a dogman encounter is almost always, even if they don't show aggression, it just scares people so bad. And then another thing, people will have nightmares that the dog man is stalking them or telling them it's going to kill them. Like it gets inside their heads, and it's just it's really unfortunate. It really is.
Mm.
It's more darker than Bigfoot, I think. More darker.
Yeah.
John, to go back to what you said about their intelligence, Dave, have you ever heard anything about them in the number 13
I have
about a
heard
dog
about
man?
13, not with Dogman, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I was watching this cryptic thing, like just a show I found on like the Discovery Channel app or whatever. And this lady who was like one of the crypto zoologists or whatever they call them, she said that for some reason, dogmen cannot count to the number 13.
Hmm.
That if you left like 13 cents in change, like if you say they were coming to your house and you're afraid that they were going to come through your door, you left 13 cents in change at your door. When they opened the door, they would have to count that change. And she said that you have to put 13 because they can't count past 12. And
Hmm.
they won't continue until they figure that out.
So
So
they're
she
just
said
curious about the
yeah,
money.
yeah, she said that has to be 13 though. I don't know if that meant anything to you, if the 13 number 13 meant anything to you as, with Dogman or not, but I just thought it was weird. And when John said their intelligence, they kind of popped in my head.
Yeah, they are intelligent. Um, it does remind me though of outside of the cryptic world. I remember when we were young, our family knew a guy. His name was George, and he'd been in Vietnam. He was just kind of a Renaissance man. And he told me when he was younger, he found a crow that had been hurt, and it was young, and he raised it, and he had a pet crow. And he told me that if you get their tongue slit, they can pronounce words. And he says, tongue crows can add, but they can't subtract. And I was like 12 when he told me. And then like I think like 3 years ago, I'm watching National Geographic, like crows
Yeah,
can add, but they can't subtract. I'm like, oh, the dude was right.
that's so weird.
Yeah, yeah, it really
Interesting.
is.
Okay.
On the positive side, Vic did have a couple guys on. One, the guy was from New York. I forget where. I think more Western New York. He grew up on a farm. I think he was 38, and he was on the show last year, and he was an Iraq veteran. But when he was 12, he heard some noise out in his father had this like barn where he kept a couple of tractors, and he heard some noises, and he went out there, and there was a young dog man who was in the back, and it had cut its arm on this razor fence that they had. And
Mm.
he really loved animals, and he went inside and got it some sausage, and came out and ended up like giving this thing sausage and wrapping this bandage around its arm. And then the thing like jumped over him and it ran to the barn door. And he said, I swear to God, this thing turned around, looked at me, and in my mind, I heard thank you, and it left. So a bunch of years go by. He's 17. He's flying down the road at night with his girlfriend driving. And all of a sudden, this ginormous dog man comes crossing the road, steps out right in front of him. He hits the brakes and he's looking at it. And he's like, he could tell it had like these yellow eyes. They describe it as like if you're shining a light through a mug of beer. It's kind of like a
Yep.
glowing amber. This dog man raises its arm and he sees the scar and it takes off. So it
Wow.
forms this relationship with him. So years later, he gets out of the service. He's on hard times from PTSD and he's living in a different state. And he rented an apartment upstairs where he had a balcony, and behind him was this field. And he decides he's going to shoot himself. And he's got the gun, and he's like, I'm going to finish this beer and shoot myself. And all of a sudden, he heard in his mind, come to the balcony. And he walks out in the balcony. He shines the light down there, and there's this dog man, and it raises its arm up, and then turns around and takes off. And he believed that dog man was linked to him and was showing up in the worst of his times to tell him, hang in there. So,
Mm.
I mean, he could have been making it up, but that's a pretty unique story.
Yeah.
So
Do you think
even
there are female
dogmen,
ones?
what's that?
Do you think there are female ones?
Oh yeah, yeah,
You think there are?
yeah, yeah. There's guys. There's been hunters have seen them and have like, especially like after they had pups because they've counted like, a
Oh
row
yeah.
of breasts. They tend to be a little more less aggressive than the males, but um, yeah,
Hmm.
I know you're busy, John, but if you devoted maybe a couple hours a week to just kind of consuming some Dogman podcast,
Mm.
you could learn a lot about them. But
Yeah.
I know you're more of a hands-on type of guy. And
Yeah.
then again, maybe you don't want to, when you're out in the woods, John, when I know you're going somewhere, I actually pray. I hope John gets to see a Bigfoot. I hope he doesn't
Great.
encounter a dogman because you're my friend, and I would hate
Mm.
for you to have to see a dogman and have to live with that. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
then again, I'm reminded that you are your own man, and every man has the right to his own destiny.
Mm. True.
So,
Well, I appreciate it both ways. So that's good.
Yeah.
Ah, man. Yeah, and I, so when I'm traveling for work, driving to and from, or in between, I'll listen to podcasts and different things and a lot of YouTube stuff like that. Trying to do some research just to learn and understand. I just haven't done a lot in the dog from a dogman perspective. Um, I've heard uh, the natives call Bigfoot Wendigo. Have you heard this, Dave? Sure, you've heard of a Wendigo. He froze up. Um,
I've heard of the name. Yes.
I think
yeah, me too.
Oh,
I've
there he is.
I've heard of the name. And I did some research.
Wendigo,
Wendigo.
Wendigo. Oh,
Wendigo.
okay, yeah, yep.
But then recently I watched a couple other shows and stories about Wendigo, and they're not Bigfoot at all. It's like some sort of
Deer.
weird deer man,
Yeah,
wolf
I
man.
talked to a guy in Norwich who encountered
thing.
a deer man Wendigo in his woods with red
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more of like um, aren't they linked to like the Skinwalker Ranch too? That kind of like
Something like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Native American
Totally
Aztec
weird.
deer skull. Yeah,
Yeah. But one of the oldest reported cryptids.
yep.
Yes. Yep. I
Yeah.
think you're right.
Yeah. Interesting. So I've been looking into a little bit of about that because it's super interesting to learn about something new. And then you mentioned earlier about the doppelganger story that you're
Yeah.
telling. I didn't want to jump in and while you were talking about it, but I read some statistics earlier today actually. It said that there is there is definitely at least 10 other people that look exactly like you. in the world.
Wow.
I was like,
No
what?
kidding.
Yeah. And then there's a 9% chance you're going to meet one.
Wow.
No
That was the
kidding.
odds and the statistics behind doppelgangers. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I was in a restaurant. I was sitting in a restaurant down in Saratoga Springs, eating dinner with my wife and kids. And these people came up to me and they were like, I cannot believe, what's your name? Who are you? Where are you from? I was like, "I- I'm just chilling, having dinner. I don't know you, what's going on?" And they're like, um, I have a best friend. We went to college. We grew up together. Same age as you now. We look like we're the same age. And he is a mirror image of you. You are an exact replica of him. He was like, "Can I
Wow.
get your picture? Can we get a picture?" I was like, Sure."
Yeah.
Yeah. So he took a picture and stuff. And it was the weirdest thing ever. But I was like, maybe there is one out there.
Did you see a
Wow.
picture of him at all?
No,
No. It would have been nice to see actually what he
I
looked like.
know.
Yeah.
I should have asked. I didn't ask. It was
Wow.
weird. It was super weird, So I'm in the middle of the restaurant and all this is going on. And I think everybody in the restaurant then thought like we were famous or something because then we were like the center of
Right.
attention. I was like, all right, we got to go. Bill, check.
Yeah. Yeah. Check, please. Do you think that's done on purpose?
I don't know.
Like, like, maybe God puts 10 people, like, you're probably not close to those 9 or 10 people at all, but maybe that's done on purpose for some reason.
I,
I wonder. I don't know.
I would think there's purpose behind it. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good call, Scott.
Hmm.
Wow.
Interesting.
I wanted to ask you guys, um, my wife occasionally she'll say, "Do you have any new Bigfoot or Dogman stories?" She's always loving to hear them. How are your wives and fiancés? Are they interested? Do they ask you? Do they like, nope, I don't want to hear it? Have they changed since you guys have been into it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
My wife, she was not cool or into it at first. When it was like more like a hobby, like, oh, let's, oh, watch an episode of Expedition Bigfoot or, what, something like that, let's put a Bigfoot sticker on the car. She was cool. She was like, all right, whatever you want to do. He likes camping. Um, but now that it's got, we started Adirondack Bigfoot, we got a little bit more into it. Not so much. She was like, kind of weirded out by it a little bit. But most recently, now that she's had a couple of unexplained experiences, she's very interested. So things have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Mine doesn't, I think she believes what I encountered, but
Hmm.
she doesn't really get into it. Um, yeah, I think she's more of like she needs to see the hard evidence type person before she can, go along with it.
Hmm.
So I think maybe she did think something yesterday when we saw that Bigfoot print or
Mm.
footprint, I should say, whatever it was. But as far as aliens and UFOs, we haven't seen anything like that together to sway her vote. So I think she believes what I saw, but I don't know if she believes fully herself.
Mm.
Yeah. And the reason I
Yeah.
ask is because, I mean, we've all probably been married different amounts of time, but it's almost, there's something to be said when the Bible says a man and woman become one. And even if you're not legally married and you're living together, you become one. Like everything one does is gonna directly or indirectly affect the other. And the longer
Right.
you're together, you almost end up becoming the same person. And I just thought, if you have someone whose spouse isn't into Bigfoot, they're going to be just by default after so many years.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, true. Yeah. No, it's been good. She's excited. She came to the Bigfoot pancake eating challenge with me. Cheered me
Didn't
on
finish though, huh,
pretty
John? Didn't
aggressively too.
finish.
Like she was like calling me names. You can do it. Do it now. Faster. I'm like, better calm down. It's a rough ride home.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's all good though.
Uh,
It's all good. I'm so sad
you
I
didn't
didn't
you
I
didn't
wasn't
have
able
that
to eat
much
that.
left.
Huh?
Yeah. You didn't have that much left.
No,
You
yeah,
could have
about a
finished it,
third of
right?
it. It was big, man. That thing was no joke.
It looked it.
I know. I
Jeez.
tried. I tried.
Did
I think
anyone finish it while you were there?
no,
No.
no, we didn't finish it.
Man.
No, we had to walk away. It was too much. I think I'm going to do some
Yeah.
practicing and maybe get back up there and give it one more try. We'll
Yeah.
see. I want one of those t-shirts, man. Get a free t-shirt. Says that
Wow.
you beat the
Like,
Bigfoot pancake
yeah.
challenge. So
Like Joey Chestnut
that's right. Yeah. Maybe
eating
I
all the
find out.
hot dog.
Yeah. Maybe I should reach out to him. See what he
Yeah.
does.
Some pointers. You
Yeah.
need some pointers.
Stretch my stomach out.
Right. Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
Do they have anything like that at that Whitehall thing or no? It's just strictly like
They
tents
have
and stuff
a
like that.
Bigfoot calling contest, so you can get in line and get up there and do your biggest scream or whoop or
Wow.
holler or whatever you'd like, and they vote on it and pick a winner. Um,
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty interesting. Usually it's mostly kids, but you get some adults up there too. I think the whole town really rallies behind that's like the main event, of the whole festival, which is pretty neat.
Oh, okay.
Um, my favorite last year, this little girl gets up there. She had a little Bigfoot stuffed animal on her arm. And they're like, all right, so everybody's going up there, like, rah, all the, screaming their faces off. And she gets up, he gives her the mic, okay, your turn. She goes, come here, Bigfoot. It's time to come home. Come on, get back. Time to go.
A
Dinner's
different a
ready. I
different
was like,
approach, huh? Completely
that's
different
great.
approach.
Yeah. Do something a little different.
Yeah.
It was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But all right, man. Well, we're at just about an hour and a half. Anything else that
All right.
you wanted to share? We good or
I
No, I
can't think
think
of
we're all
anything.
set.
yeah.
Yeah. It
It's
was nice.
great.
I mean, hopefully this is entertaining for your audience, John, but this was nice to get in touch again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, it's entertaining for us. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if
If
it's
nothing
entertaining
else,
for
yeah.
so then we're good.
Uh,
Put it out there, and if people want to listen to us, then they can. So we'll see. But it's always good to chat with both of you guys, as always. Absolutely
yeah.
class act, let me say.
Yeah.
But all right, well, y'all
Excellent.
have a good week, good Monday. Tomorrow's
Yep.
Monday. Uh,
Hate it.
yeah, Dave's good.
Hate
No,
Mondays.
Yeah. My daughter has surgery Tuesday.
oh yeah,
Oh, good
Her
luck with
retina, but
that.
it's like in and out surgery. What do they call it when you go in during the day and you come out like a couple hours later? I forget
Yeah.
what they call it.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's not a huge deal, but she needs it, so it's all good.
Yeah.
great.
Well, good luck with that.
Yep,
Thank you very much.
sending
All
prayers.
right.
We
Keep us,
got you.
yeah, keep us posted.
Will do, guys. Thank you.
All right. Good
All
evening.
right.
See you later, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.